to Newcastle for a sewing weekend and I was so excited. The journey there, however, was something else. Sam and welcome to my channel Sew That Sparkle with Sam, and I left you last week on a bit of a cliffhanger as I was off to Newcastle to spend the weekend with my lovely friend Mishi and to attend the fantastic, the wonderful Sew Toon hosted by our very own Tamlin Sewn on the Time. So yeah, I left you at last Friday sews kind of preparing to go to there, and also with a little bit of a dilemma with my breakfast dress. But first, I want to tell you about the journey. Oh my, oh my, oh my. So I was really excited, got up Saturday morning. I booked all of my tickets by train line, so I had a kind of guaranteed seat. I knew exactly what coach I needed to get into, whereabouts my seat was. I travel on the train a lot. I am a very seasoned train traveller, so I have seen a lot in my life, but I have never experienced anything like I experienced on Saturday. So yeah, I knew exactly where I needed to get on. It was, of course, Saturday, so it's always going to be busy on a Saturday, which is why I always book my own ticket. I stood at the coach. I know on the platform where the coaches are, so I stood, and then as soon as I saw the train coming in, I could see that there was quite a lot of people on there. So I thought, I'm probably going to have to go and fight for my seat. But the journey is 4.5 hours from Leamington to Newcastle, so I needed a seat. I also was packed ready to go on a sewing weekend, so I had my clothes, I had my rucksack, I had my sewing bag, and I had my suitcase, so I had quite a lot of stuff to carry. I knew I needed a seat, at least somewhere to pop myself. So I got on the train, found my allocated seat. There was someone sitting in it, but when I explained it was my seat, they were very polite and they moved out of the way. I sat myself down, kind of got myself all comfy, popped everything away, sat myself down, and then I kind of took in my environment. And I realised that there was quite a lot of younger males on the train. And I've obviously got 2 sons, and so I was like, so I kind of smiled. Oh, hi lads, what are you up to? Are you doing anything exciting today? And they informed me that they were going to a football match. So yes, they were Reading supporters and they were off to see Reading versus Doncaster. So I knew they were going to be on the train for quite a while. Now, as I said, look, just nice lads. They were very young. I mean, I'm a mum and I'm just guessing, but I should imagine they were about 16 or 17. I don't think that they were much older than that, but as the kind of train went on the journey, a lot more people came on, and there were older guys and lots more people came in. But as I said, they were fairly young and they were drinking alcohol, which, is not always a great mix. So I was a little starting already, just, at the beginning of the journey, I was getting a little bit worried about my beautiful Liberty bag. The beautiful Liberty fabric bag that the lovely Catherine from Sew Toon made me. Because the train was so full and there were so many people on there was obviously people were having to stand. And when you stand with a bottle of beer, you sometimes spill it because, and particularly when you stand with a bottle of beer and you've maybe had quite a few beers, you're more likely to spill it. And so I was a little bit concerned that my Liberty bag was going to be covered in Stella Artois. And that was making me feel a bit uncomfortable. But, it was like, they're having fun, this is what happens. And so I just made sure it was kind of nicely safe. And at that stage, I had a seat next to me because the guy that was sat next to me had got off off the train, and nobody had kind of got on because it was the inside, it was like the inside seat. So then I decided that I would move across, because then there would be kind of more room, even though that the aisle seat was my assigned seat. But I thought, well, I'd move across and then there's room for people to sit down, and it didn't look like I was trying to block the seat. So I did that. And then as I did that, the train just filled. So we were about 40 minutes in, and the whole coach was filled. There was standing room only, and that's when it started to get rowdy. And when I say rowdy, I'm not talking about like kids in a playground rowdy. I'm talking, I was a little bit frightened. I mean, I've been around a bit. I can look after myself. I'm a strong, independent woman, and not a lot of things kind of worry me. But it was one of those situations where, you know, you just have to sit and try not to make eye contact with anyone and pretend that it's not happening. It was one of those. There was a lot of very inappropriate language. Bearing in mind, it was a Saturday, we're on the train, there was lots of children on the train, families going in, you know, going to have a lovely day somewhere. The lads were getting quite as well as loud, and kind of, you know, they were using some spicy language, some very spicy language, singing about how much they really didn't appreciate the Prime Minister, and, you know, well, you get the idea, don't you? All of those kinds of things. They were singing a few phrases that I'd actually never heard of, but I definitely know are not PC. And then it got to the banging. So then they were jumping on the tables and jumping off the tables and banging on the windows. And every time we got to a station, they were banging on the windows, because obviously, you know, different fans were getting on. And so, you know, they felt the need to up the ante, and it was something else. And because the train was so full, there was no getting out of it. There was a couple of people that I could see that were feeling even more anxious than me. Luckily, I had my noise cancelling headphones with me. And I did actually offer them to a family that had a very small child that was very distressed. And yeah, it just was really unpleasant. I'm really not being a fun, a party pooper. This was more than lads having fun. This was antisocial behaviour of quite a high standard. And and it was just, it was a lot. It was a lot. Now, obviously, when they got to their destination, they all got off, and it did then, I had about 40 minutes left of my journey, and it did suddenly get a lot calmer. And the guys from the train manager then kind of showed his face, and there was a few staff members then. And one thing that frustrated me a little bit was there was no sorry, or no kind of like, oh, I'm sorry you've kind of had through that. It was kind of put to customers that were complaining that all they needed to do was get out of their seats and walk through the train and go to first class, and they would have kind of made it all okay for them. But that wasn't an option. There wasn't. I couldn't move from my seat. I had quite a big guy sat one side of me. I had two very big guys sat with, their bottoms quite close to my head, that, in the aisle, and they were quite unstable. So there was no moving. That was awful. It was, I've had a few travel experiences, few of them that haven't been great, but that was probably the worst one that I've had. So, so you can imagine, can't you, that when I did arrive at Newcastle station and the lovely Mishi was there to greet me, oh, the relief. I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you for Mishi. So yeah, but enough said about that, because was it worth it? The rest of the weekend, absolutely yes. So let me tell you about the rest of the weekend and put that sorry journey behind me, because quite frankly, it was awful. So once she picked me up, she came and picked me up from the train station. We went to her house, and I have to say the whole weekend she made me so welcome. It was really lovely. So yeah, she kindly put me up in her home for the weekend, and yeah, and it was absolutely wonderful. So we had arranged on the Saturday evening to go and meet up with Tamlin and the lovely Lynn, Tamlin's mum, who I have actually chatted on Instagram a bit, but we've not met formally. And I recognised her from fabric that she was wearing. So yeah, on the Saturday night, we went to this gorgeous fish restaurant. It was absolutely lovely. And as we came into the restaurant, I was like, I know that's Lynn because I recognise that fabric. And yes, so we had a lovely evening with the lovely Tamlin and her mum Lynn, and obviously me and Mishi. And yeah, it was just really lovely because Lynn wasn't actually going to be at Sew Toon the following day. I wasn't aware of that at the time. I was hoping that I'd get to sew with her. Yeah, so it was lovely to meet her properly. And yeah, we had a lovely meal, a few glasses of wine, lots of chat. And I'm just going to warn you now, I was an extremely bad vlogger while I was away for the weekend because I just lived the moment, and I'm starting to feel that I know I love vlogging and I love getting as much content for you guys as I can. But when I go away for the weekend, I just want to enjoy the moment of it all. And obviously, because Mishi was putting me up in her home, I didn't want to kind of intrude in any way. I certainly didn't want to start vlogging in her house, although I'll tell you about Monday later in the video. And yeah, and so we singularly didn't get a single picture of me and Lynn and Tamlin and Mishi together. So that makes us a bit rubbish, doesn't it? But we did have a good time. We don't have photos to prove it, but I'm telling you now, we had a lovely time. So that was Saturday night, and then we went back to Mishi's house and had a cup of tea and an early night because we knew that we needed to get up bright and breezy the next day because Sunday was Sew Toon. So yeah, we got up the next day. Mishi made me a lovely breakfast, and we packed up a lunch to take to Sew Toon, which was brilliant. And then we headed to a little community centre for Sew Toon. When we went in, we were on time, and apparently that's all to do with me because Mishi's quite often late. And so it was lovely. We arrived at 10 o'clock, and Tamlin made everyone who arrived. I was actually, because obviously I'm going to be running my sewing social quite soon with the lovely Lynn, who is Sew Lindy Lou, I was taking it all in, and I was really impressed by how Tamlin kind of welcomed everybody, and yeah, how lovely it was. She's really good at that. She's got a real knack for that. Without being intrusive or in your face, and yeah, it was really lovely. So I sat on a table with Tamlin and Mishi, and we got on with our sewing. And as you know, if you watched my last video, my main job at Sew Toon was to sort out my breakfast dress. So did I sort it out? Yes, I did. And if you follow me on Instagram, thank you so much for all of the love that you gave to my breakfast dress, because yeah, it was one of those things that I was just determined. I knew in my head I could make it work, and I was just determined to make it work. So if you bear with me a sec, I shall just go and get it. Here she is. So here is the breakfast dress. So it is the Maize Dress by Little Rosy Cheeks patterns. And as you can see, it's got a jersey t-shirt top and a woven skirt bottom. And it is the woven skirt that I was having the biggest problem with. Now in the pattern, it tells you to gather. And what I have done is I have done these tiny little box pleats along. Now I'm so glad that I used gingham. So I changed from the seersucker gingham to this gorgeous cotton gingham that I got from Minerva. And as you can see, I have used the squares to measure the boxed pleats. So I did a little bit of maths. Basically, I took the measurement of what I needed for the waist, for the circumference of where for the t-shirt, the waist of the t-shirt. And then I took the measurement of the skirt panels, and then I realized how much I needed to take out. So kind of took those two numbers off each other, the one number off the other number. And then I had to take out something like 115 or something like that centimeters out. So I decided to take 10 centimeter pleats out, and then I took the 5 centimeters, a 2.5 and a 2.5 just off the pocket bit here. So it kind of gave this extra little pleat here where you put your hand in the pocket, and actually I quite like that it does that because it kind of hides the pocket, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so that's what I did. I sewed them all down by 5 centimeters, and yeah, I'll pop a picture of me wearing it here, and I hope you agree. I think it looks really nice, and I'm gonna really enjoy wearing it. I don't know whether it is a completely finished project yet, because I did get a couple of lovely comments on my video about perhaps embellishing the skirt and putting knives and forks and toast, things like that, and having a, you know, I don't know, a grilled tomato and a mushroom for a full breakfast, you know, all day breakfast dress. And I really like the idea of that, so I still might do it because, you know, everyone loves a breakfast dress, don't they? So, but yeah, I'm really, really chuffed with it, and I can't wait for lots of family breakfasts, words, to wear it. Now, the other thing that I made was this little hairband with the leftover gingham, and it's got this little Cozy Club handmade label in it, and it says, "Did someone say chips?" Because I wanted it to remind me that I made it in Newcastle, Whitley Bay, with the seagulls. So yeah, so I've made that to match. And then another nice little touch is I used the fantastic, the brilliant, the wonderful tutorial from my lovely friend Rachel, the French Seams. How funny was that? That was my doorbell, and it is a parcel from my lovely friend Rachel, the French Seams. So Rachel, if you're wondering, the parcel that you sent me, it has arrived. We thought it had gone lost, but it has arrived. So that's probably for another video. Oh, how strange. It's real life here, folks. So my lovely friend Rachel from the French Seams does a lovely tutorial on how to bind a jersey neckband, and I bound it with these lovely ducks. And I think it was Rachel that said, what came first, the duck or the egg? You know, fun. So yeah, so that was really good. So that was my main project that I got done at Sew Toon. I did a few other little bits and pieces as well, but I mainly just had fun. I've got some footage of some of the ladies. I managed to say hello to most of the people there, and if you were there, hi. But a very special thank you to one of the ladies that was there was the lovely Penny. So because I was coming up on the train, I didn't really want to have to bring too much stuff with me. So one of Misha's friends, Penny, very kindly said that she would lend me her sewing machine. And she lent me a lovely faff machine. Now, I apologise if I've got this wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was a Passport 3.0 faff machine. I have got a little bit of footage of it. And, oh, Penny, I nearly stole it. I mean, I wouldn't steal it because I'm not that kind of person. But if ever you want to get rid of it, I'll have it because it's brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed using it. I've never used a faff machine before. It was really good fun. And yeah, I didn't have any problems with it at all. I'd never used the machine before, but it was really self-explanatory. Yeah, even with all of those 15 million pleats, it had no problem at all. And yeah, and I really, really enjoyed using it. So Penny, thank you very much. It made the weekend so much easier because I didn't have to heft about a sewing machine, which was really, really good. So yeah, so that was lovely. So we had a really, really good day on Sunday, and then we went back to Mishi's house, and Mishi cooked a lovely pie, and I do love a pie, and it was delicious. As I said, as you can tell, I was very well looked after at Chez Mishi. So yeah, so Sew Toon was brilliant. I didn't manage to get too many photos with me and Tamlin. I think we got some, but I'm not quite sure. So they were taken on someone's phone, and I'm not quite sure where they turned up to. But I thought, well, no, let's not worry too much, because I knew on the Tuesday before I came home, I was going to see Tamlin again, because we was going to meet up at First for Fabrics. So there is a little fabric haul coming, folks, if you want to stay to the end. So on the Sunday, as I said, we had a lovely meal, and then Monday, I decided to do my Social Sparkle, my online sewing Zoom session at Mishi's house. Mishi had kindly agreed that she was happy for me to do it there, so I didn't have to cancel it, which was lovely, and I think everybody really appreciated it. And yeah, and so yes, so I had it there. And anyone that is trying to book onto my Social Sparkles at the moment, if you do have any problems, please email me. And if you don't get any joy from email, can you send me a direct message on Instagram? Because I've been having a few problems, and I don't know whether it was because I was away, or and they'll just resolve themselves now I've come home. But I did have a few problems not getting messages, and not, yeah. So if you do ever, just message me on Instagram. I'm normally quite good on there. Yes, so I had a lovely session. It was really good fun. As always, I didn't really get very much sewing done, but I did make a little bit of progress on my Sew April blouse entry, and I'm hopefully going to have that finished by the end of the week, maybe. And then get some pictures to pop that up. So I'm really looking forward to finishing that. And then came Tuesday. So yeah, Tuesday was going home day. I booked a train for 2:30 in the afternoon. And so what we decided to do was we would go and get some breakfast. Now, Mishi told me of this place that she really wanted to take me to, and it was called Pablo Eggs or something like that. I can't remember. I've got pictures of it. And she said, oh, they do this great breakfast bao bun. And I was like, a bao bun? Breakfast bao bun? That sounds delicious. And oh my goodness, it was the nicest egg sandwich I've ever had. And I like an egg sandwich. And I've had a few egg sandwiches in my time, and this was delicious. So if you imagine a really bougie McDonald's McMuffin, egg McMuffin, then we're nearly there, but like super souped up bougie. It was delicious. And what made it even more delicious was we ate it by the sea. So I have got a picture of me with my bao bun and the lighthouse in the background. So yeah, that was lovely. And then we went straight from there to First for Fabrics. And she was like, where are we going to wash our hands? We need to wash our hands before we go and touch all of that lovely fabric with these kind of eggy fingers. But we did, don't worry. Don't worry, everybody in First for Fabrics. We did wash our hands. So we had a lovely wander around First for Fabrics. They have a fantastic selection of fabrics. I have been before. In fact, the first time I went was the very first time that I'd met Tamlin. So yeah, we didn't really know each other at all. I'd literally only just met. So yeah, and little did I know that we were going to kind of hone such a lovely friendship. But so yeah, when I went in, it brought back a lot of memories for me, and it was really lovely. So the lovely Kaylee, who you will probably know from the Instagram account, she very kindly gave us some of her time, and she took some photos of us, which hopefully you will see throughout the video. Yeah, and I did buy a few fabrics, and I'm sure you want to see what they were. First Fabrics have a great selection of fabrics, literally everything you can think of. Jerseys, knits, wovens, viscose, everything really. So one of the first things that drew my eye is that they had the bundles of, you know, the kind of viral animal paw print, you know, the one, sweatshirting that everybody is buying at the moment. Well, I just bought the plain pink because, and this is a definitely a video for another day, because I have got the pink version of the other fabric and the ribbon, which I pre-ordered from the lovely girls at the Fabric Obsession, but I just needed a little extra bit of this for the project that I am hoping to make. But as I said, that is a video for another day. And First for Fabrics had a little sale on, and so I was very drawn to the sale fabrics and to this. I know, I should have told you to adjust your sets. Look at it. As soon as I saw this, I knew it was going in my basket, and that was that. And yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's some kind of sateen. I think it's a cotton sateen or a viscose sateen. It feels quite stable. I think it may be a cotton sateen, but I could be wrong. But it's absolutely beautiful. And this is one of the contenders for the fabrics for my Scottish Frocktails outfit. I just love it. So I bought 5 meters because it was £7 a meter, and I bought 5 meters because I just think it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now another fabric that so just to fill you in a little bit, the night before, me and Mishi went on First Fabrics website and just had a little look, because I find that a bit of planning for fabric shopping is a good idea. And I did have some things in mind that I wanted to get. So this one I knew was going in my basket because I'd seen it online, and it's just a white cotton, and it's got these gorgeous little pears all over it. And you know how much I love green, and I'm really into white at the moment. I don't know why, it's very dangerous for me, but I thought having the white and the green would be very lovely. And also a little challenge that's coming up called So Fruity. I'm sure you've all heard of it. Look at that. Gonna get a pair on Yvette's pie chart for sure. Yeah, probably a shirt. If anyone's got any ideas, then please do. But I mean, I've got lots of, it will definitely need to be a shirt pattern that I have. I'm trying to limit myself on the patterns that I am buying, because I am buying far too many patterns. And then I had this fabric in mind because I wanted to make a pair of trousers. And then I saw this green, and this green is just yummy. It's the yummiest green. And look, if that's not a pairing, if you pardon the pun, made in heaven. Is that a pairing made in heaven? I think it is. And yeah. Now, originally, I had a pattern in mind for these trousers, but I've changed my mind, as I am at liberty to do so. Having talked to the lovely Kaylee, and she was wearing the Co trousers by Daughter Judy, and the lovely Rachel, Stitched Up Rachel, also, she is a fan of the Co trousers. But actually, the thing is because I find trousers is a, you know, it's a difficult thing. You see them on other people and you don't necessarily, like, you know, it's hard to know whether it's kind of a style for you. But because I saw them close up on Kaylee, I was like, oh, actually, that is a pattern for me. So I have bought that pattern, and I'm very excited to give those a go. So I'm hoping that maybe in a couple of months' time, I will do a little co-ord with that, with the Co trousers and then a shirt to match, because I just love that fabric. And then on to something that's maybe a little, you know, a little less colourful, but still very beautiful, is this gorgeous, it's like a ticking stripe, but it's a very crisp shirt cotton. And I love a proper shirt, me. I love a proper shirt with shirt fabric with nice crisp cotton. And I thought in the summer, this would be really nice. And I've gone down a little bit of a blouse stroke shirt rabbit hole recently. And you will see with vlogs that I've got coming out quite soon. And I have a pattern in mind for that one. But you'll understand why I don't talk about that at the moment. And then in the evening, when we were on the website, oh, one more thing, sorry, remnant. Look at this. It was this, I saw this as a little remnant. It was peeking out. It's Rachel Parker. It's for Dashwood Studios. I can't remember. It's called something like Chroma Blue. I can't remember. I think it's gorgeous. It's my favourite microbacteria design, which I love. And yeah, little top. It's definitely my colours. So yeah, so that came in my basket. But as I said, so in the evening when we were chatting and looking on the First for Fabrics website, I had noticed, I went on my Instagram page and I had noticed that Carolyn Rose, so my former employer's Carolyn Rose, were having a fabric sale and they were having a jersey sale and everything was 50% off. Well, Carolyn Rose is my local fabric shop and I thought, oh, I should really support them, particularly when they're having such a good sale. And they were really, really good. It was a really good sale. Sadly, it's finished today. No, yesterday even. It has finished anyway, sadly. But I did manage to grab myself a few bargains. I got some, it's all jersey. So I got some plain white jersey because everyone needs a plain white t-shirt in their life. And this is a gorgeous quality jersey. I got some lovely striped jersey again, you know, just to replace my wardrobe basics. I got this gorgeous, this is more of a ponte. And again, just for a little kind of cocoa, Tilly and the Buttons cocoa dress, something like that. Absolutely perfect. And then I also got some of this, which is sweatshirting with the fleece back sweatshirting. I got quite a bit of this to make some jogging bottoms for my sons. And because again, you know, it's just all of those basic things. But when you can get those kinds of basic fabrics at really bargain prices, you're just going to do it. Now, I'm going to show you this fabric and you're going to say, well, that looks very familiar, Sam. And that's because it is. I do already have a jumper in this fabric, but I love wearing this jumper. So I've decided to get myself some more fabric and make myself a cardigan as well. Because why not? So as you can see, I've got quite a pile that I need to get in the washing machine and get those sorted upstairs. So yeah. So that was my weekend. So once we'd finished at First for Fabrics, it was time to say goodbye and I was so sad. One thing that I'd forgotten to tell you, so another person that I will really miss, someone else that was very dear to me and made me very welcome over the weekend, was Mishi's dog, Mo. So me and Mo made fast friends, I think because I quite like going out for a walk, so I'd take him out for a walk quite frequently. And yeah, and I think he knew I was a bit of a soft touch for treats. So yeah, we made friends. So I'll pop a picture of Mo. And so it's time to say goodbye. And Tamlin very kindly offered to drop me off at the train station because it was just more convenient for her than for Mishi. And Mishi had already done enough. So yeah. So Tamlin dropped me off. And I got back on the train. It was like full circle. But I'm pleased to tell you that the journey home was much, much better. In fact, I fell asleep. I had a little snooze. It was lovely. So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this week's content. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Now, don't forget to have a look on our Instagram page. So me and Lynn have an Instagram page called Much Ado About Stitching that promotes our new sewing social that's coming up very, very soon. And tomorrow we are going on a very exciting adventure. So watch your Instagram stories and I'll see you back here on YouTube for more about that. Don't forget to sparkle, folks. I hope you have a beautiful weekend and you have some time to sew. Take care. Bye for now.